a second. Here we go. What's going on, folks? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Man, it's a hot one out here in the Ville. Just hopped on here real quick. Hold on one second. Let me stop that. All right. Hope everybody had an amazing day. It's nice out here in Nashville. Nice and warm. What's up, Nubian sister? What's up, 1111007? What's going on with you? I've seen 1111 several times over the last few days. That goes back to our last chat about the law of attraction and numbers. But anyway, what's up, Dirty Bird? Good to see you in the chat. What's up, Logical Reasoning? John Seth. Good to see you good people in here. So yeah, I got back a little early. I left Atlanta at about I don't know, I think about 10 or 11 because I was just ready to get up out of there. I hate Atlanta. I really hate Atlanta. So I was really ready to get up out of there. What's up, JJ Jr.? Booyah. He is in here. Great Dane. Good to see you in the chat as always. How you doing? How are you doing? What's up, Aramis? What's good, bro? Good to see you. And sorry about the bad news, man. Keep your head up. Bad things are coming. Hey, it's good news. I'm telling you. It is not bad news. It is good news. It is good news. What's up, Andrew D? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you in the chat. We are coming up in here. We are coming in here. And I appreciate it. Good to see you all. Good to see you all in here. What's up, Gypsy Lily? Good to see you. Hip to the dip. What's going on? What is going on? Whatever, Great Dane. Great Dane says not as pumped as those on. Whatever, man. Watch out, man. Got me a good little workout in today. Great Dane, I really enjoyed our conversation yesterday. Always good to talk to you. It was really great to bounce back and forth with you. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Always a pleasure. Gypsy Lily, y'all, man, y'all gonna stop that. But it was a great day today, man. I had a really, really good day. I went to have lunch, and I was sitting there. I went to a Chinese food place. Okay, Gypsy Lily says she got the earbuds in. Yeah, I went to a Chinese food buffet. I'm sitting there eating my food. There were these two ladies in front of me. They were eating. You know, I didn't really say anything to them. I saw them or whatever. And the waitress sat me down behind them. So I'm sitting there eating my food, whatever. And they got up and left. So I'm still just eating my food. One of the ladies walked back in. And she said, I just wanted to let you know that I paid for your food today. And they might try to make you pay again, but I just want to let you know that I've already paid for it. I said, oh, okay. Well, thank you, sister. I really appreciate that. She said, no problem. I said, well, you have a beautiful day. She said, you have a beautiful day as well. I said, okay, thank you again. And she left. So, of course, I'm at a Chinese food place. And yeah, I do like arguing with you, Great Dane. It's great. It's fun times. I do like to argue. Debate, I think, is a better word to say. So the waitress set my check down, and then of course it's a Chinese food restaurant. So then she went up to the front, and the front people told her, "Hey, that lady already paid for his food." So then the lady came back, and again, I'm in a Chinese food restaurant. The lady was like, "Oh, you know her? You know her?" And I said, "No, I don't. I don't know her." She said, "Oh, she trying to be your friend, huh? She want to be your friend. You know her? You want to be her friend?" I was like, "Why do I feel like I'm in a Chinese kung fu movie right now?" But I thought it was nice. It was a cool little gesture. Every now and then, somebody pays it forward, and it was really cool. So it really kind of made my day even better. I was having a really good day today. So that was just something that I think when you start to change the way you think and your whole overall vibration, like things just start to happen. Like great things just start to happen. And when you feel really good about yourself, I think it just projects outward to people, and people are they feel a natural need to maybe do nice things for you. And that happens all day. I've been getting all these like really nice tips from people I've given rides to, or or people that jumped in my car. It's just been a really, really good day, and I think it's because I've really just allowed all of the negative things that I have been thinking in the last few months to just kind of go away and not really worry about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, just to shoot the breeze until we get everybody in here. It's been a good day, and I hope everyone has had a good day as well. I hope everyone has had a really good day as well, man. Great day. She's whatever, man. Y'all gonna kill me with them compliments, man. Hips and Dip says happens all the time to good-looking people who have a positive vibe. I think it happens. Yeah, I think it happens a lot to people who have a positive vibe in general, man. If you just have a really good vibe, people wanna be around you. People want to say nice things to you, and it's been one of those days. So it's one of the first days in a really long time that I've been able to have a really positive outlook the entire day. Like my day will start good after I have my meditations in the morning and my gratitude sessions. Starts off really, really good. And then sometimes as the day progresses, I start kind of sinking when I start thinking about all the bullshit. But today hasn't been one of those days. It's been a really good day all the way around. Logical Reasoning says, thanks for sharing that. I think we all needed a feel-good story and a laugh. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. She was hilarious. Oh, that's exactly what she did. Oh, I was like, man, are you really doing that for real? You are like a living stereotype right now. Daniel Brown says, good people still exist. Yeah, man. And it wasn't anything expected at all. I didn't, speak to them or try to, do anything to draw attention to them or make them think I wanted to try to holler at them or whatever. I just sat down and ate my food, and it was just a really nice gesture, and I really appreciate it from that sister. So I don't know if I'm sure that sister doesn't know about me or my show, but much gratitude to you today, sister. You really, really made my day. So I appreciate you, sister. So, always trust your intuition. Your higher self has the answer. So I thought I would share this story because I wanted to tell you guys exactly what happened when I went to Atlanta. Oh, man. And I'm not only going to share what happened when I went to Atlanta. I'm not going to say any names. Nubian sister says, would you have taken the $20 bill a nice young lady is handing to you and ask you if it belonged to you, and you decide because you know it's not your what? Hold on, let me read it again, Nubian sister. Would you have taken the $20 bill a nice young lady is handing to you and ask you if it belonged to you, and you declined because you know it's not yours? Huh. Yeah, I would decline. That's a weird that you would actually even ask that question, because it kind of ties in to what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Great Dane says, and she probably felt good all day for having done so. I'm sure she did. I've paid it for it before. I remember I went to Chick-fil-A one time. I think magical things happen inside that building, inside that Chick-fil-A building. I think there's some magic machine in there that makes people super nice. And I remember I went to Chick-fil-A one time and I bought my food. I ordered my food, and I got to the window and the lady said, "Oh yeah, the woman in front of you already paid for your food." I was like, "Man, for real? This place is amazing. This place is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious." Fucking love this place. And y'all closed on Sundays too? Oh man. So anyway, let me tell you guys what happened. Let me tell you guys what happened to my black ass in Atlanta. Now, firstly, before I even get to what happened in Atlanta, let me tell you what I did before I went to Atlanta. And I think I touched on this on one of my other streams. But let me go ahead and just elaborate on all of this. Okay? So, Logical Reason says, I've had that happen at the Starbucks drive-in. It's always a nice surprise, isn't it? Dirty Bird says, I couldn't be as perky as they are all the time, though. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. That place is magic. There's some magical machine inside that place that just makes you stay happy. What's up, exclusive princess? Haven't seen you in a while. How's everything going? So, yeah. Now, as you guys know, I've told you that I've been doing a lot of gratitude sessions, a lot of meditating here lately. And before I got ready to go to Atlanta, I had a little session. I had been really praying about it, praying to the universe, God, whatever anyone calls it. I just pretty much just say I'm asking the universe for directions. But I asked a lot of questions about this whole business opportunity. And so the day before I went, I have a lot of sage. I burn a lot of sage in my house. And I don't know if you guys know about the properties of sage, but sage is supposed to ward off negative energy and evil spirits in your home. So every now and then I'll burn a little sage and take it to each room of the house, let the smoke fill the room just to get rid of negative energy. Well, this day, I decided to see if I could get some answers to some questions that I had. I had two main questions, and I'll share one because the other one is a little personal, and I don't want to talk about it right now. But I'll share the first one. But I'll share it with you later. You know how I am. I'll share everything with you guys. But for right now, I want to keep the other one to myself. So the first question I had was, should I go to Atlanta to pursue this business opportunity? So I put a few saucers on the floor around me, turned off all the lights, and had some sage burning in each one of the saucers. And I waited for it to get real smoky. The smoke was all around. So I sat there in the dark and in the quiet. I asked the question again. Should I go to Atlanta to pursue this opportunity? And I just sat there in silence and waited. And after a few minutes, it was really weird because on one hand, I was wondering, am I doing this? Or is this really just happening? That's what I was asking myself. But I was asking myself that because the answers just started coming. And it was like a person was literally standing there talking to me, how loudly and clearly the answers were coming. And it was like a higher version of myself. My higher self was giving me the answers to the questions I was asking. So I asked that first question: should I go to Atlanta to pursue this opportunity? After a few moments of silence, I heard, Keith, don't go to Atlanta. You're going to be disappointed because it's a scam. And if you go, you're going to spend time and money, and you're going to be disappointed that you went and you spent all that money on something that's a scam. So you can go if you want to, but you're going to be disappointed because it's a scam. I said, okay. I said, okay. I asked my second question, and I got the same volley of answers. You know how you feel about this topic. You know what's going to happen. You know what you've done. You know the type of person you are. Don't stress about it because you know what's going to happen deep in your heart. You already know. You already know the outcome. You just have to be patient and wait. But you already know what's going to happen. And if that doesn't happen, there's going to be something else that happens. It's going to be even better than that situation. Just relax. You already know the answer. I don't know why you're asking these questions because deep down, you already know the answers. Clear as I'm saying it right now, this is how I heard the answers to these questions. So I sat there a little bit longer in silence, getting the answers to my question. First answer was, don't go to Atlanta. You're going to be disappointed. Don't go. My friend Todd calls me, hey, what's up? You going to Atlanta? I said, fuck yeah, let's go. So I pack up my shit. Todd comes through. We left at about 3 a.m. and drove to Atlanta. Now I had been operating at that point on about 2 hours of sleep. So I was extremely tired when Todd got here. So I just threw a couple things in a bag. I think I had a backpack and maybe like a couple of clothes, one pair of jeans, a couple of shirts. I didn't really pack shit. I was sleeping. I was so sleep deprived at that point. So we get to Atlanta, and let me elaborate a little bit on the operation that I was going to be a part of. What had happened was my friend told me about an opportunity where we could help people in low income areas, seniors or older people who didn't have who lived in these areas. I'm a Leo, Patricia Mint. How are you doing, Patricia Mint? Yes, I am a Leo. That we could help these people be tested to see if they had a genetic predisposition to have any type of cancer. Okay? Now, me being someone who likes to help people, I thought this was right up my alley. I said, this is the kind of thing I really want to be a part of. So we get to Atlanta, and we meet up with the guy that owns the company. He says, all right, guys, this is what we're doing. All you have to do is go up to these people. We're going to go to a certain little area and ask them, hey, we are here in your area. We're providing a test to allow people to find out if they have any type of predisposition for cancer. It's free. It's of absolutely no cost to you. As long as you have Medicare or Medicaid, you don't have to worry about price or money at all. And all it is a little cotton swab. You will swab 10 times on this cheek, in this first one, and in this second vial, you'll do 10 times on the other cheek. And that's it. The first one will test your DNA to see if you have genes that have a predisposition to transform into cancer later, or if you have some type of cancerous condition right now. The other side and the other vial is to test to see what type of medications you have and if the medications you have are the ones that are most suited to your DNA type. Okay, now are you interested in this? Would you like to have the test? It only takes about 3 minutes, right? So that was the little spiel. And I also talked about how my partner talked about how many people he had in his family that had it. I talked about a lot of people that I have in my family who have had it. And I thought, I am doing an amazing thing. This is really helping people to find out if they have any type of cancer. So I'm thinking, yes, this is great. This is great. On top of that, on top of the feeling of helping people, for each person that I actually test, the lab supposedly pays me $300. For every single person that I would test, I personally will receive $300. Okay? So the first time I went up there or down there, I tested 4 people. We were outside for about 6 hours. And in those 6 hours, I tested 4 people. So, of course, that's $1,200. Now, the guy that owned the company showed me his first check for the entire month, and it was $16,000. And I'm thinking, you made that in a month? And he was like, yeah. So I'm looking at what I did. I'm thinking, damn, I literally made $1,200 in 6 hours. It's totally possible. My boy actually made the same amount of time, $1,200. So we're looking at this, and I'm thinking, fuck, man, this is it. All our money problems are done. I don't have to worry about shit, and can't a motherfucker tell me shit, because I'm making $1,200 in 6 hours. You can't tell me shit. So we are making all these plans, bro. I'm getting this. I'm doing this. I'm putting this money aside for my daughter. I'm buying my daughter this. I'm getting this. I'm setting up this dynasty. And so I talked to him and I said, bro, do you know this dude? Do you know this dude, man? He's like, yeah, this is my boy. I know him for 20 years. And I said, okay. I said, it's great, but you know what they say. If it sounds too good to be true, it's usually too good to be true. And my boy was like, yo, I know him. It's a good dude. I know him for 20 years. It's legit. And I said, okay. So, of course, this was the first time we went down. And I was already kind of in a bad mood because I had a slight little emergency that week, so I had to go. I had to go out of town before I went to that place. So I had a little emergency. I had to go handle some business and go out of town. Then I ended up going to Atlanta to do this at the same time. So it was a really hectic week. So I was thinking, okay, next week will be better. Because we only had originally, the first time we went, we only had 3 days. And the second day was the last day to get our tests into the person who owned the company so that we could get credit for it on that pay period. So in those 2 days, in those 6 hours for those 2 days, I was able to make, quote unquote, make $1,200. This time, of course, we went back. We only had about 12 days. So we're projecting, okay, if we made $1,200 in 6 hours, and we were only working for 2 days, and we're there for a whole week, we are about to clean up, dude. We are about to make so much money. So we got there on Monday. I drove. We both drove because I was going to have to do some driving while I was there to make some money while I was down there. So we left at about 8 in the morning, got there about 1. And I said, dude, I don't want to talk about any business today. I said, we've driven all this time. How about we just chill out, hang out, go to Atlanta, go find something to eat, go sit somewhere, just talk to some people, maybe find some hookah bar and just have some great conversations with some girls or whatever, just some women. Let's just sit down and just talk to some people, go to some shops, just sit and let's just chill out and just meet some people and just talk. So we ended up going down to this little strip. We went to a little Thai place, and I had ramen at this restaurant. I've been wanting to try it for a long time. Had some good ramen. That shit was so good. And met some really cool people. A couple of ladies at another place, sat with us and we talked with them. A couple of guys at another little clothing place, they chilled out with us. We talked with them. We had a really good time. Just met some really cool people, hung out. Really fun time. So then, next day, we get with the guy that owns the company. And he gives us the testing kits that we need to go and test people. And he gives us these brochures that we need to inform people about what we're doing. And again, we're in Georgia. So I posed the question, me, I'm just going to ask shit. I posed the question, why is it that we can't do this in Tennessee? And I don't know if any of you in this chat have ever heard the term nickel slick ass nigga. Okay. Now, this dude is cool. I love him. He's a cool dude. I've only known him for a little bit, but he's a really, really cool dude. But he a nickel slick ass nigga. I'm just gonna tell you, he a nickel slick ass nigga. And if you're not as old as me, and if you're not black, you probably haven't heard that term. But he a nickel slick ass nigga. This nigga is slick as a nickel. So again, I asked, why is it that we can't do this particular procedure in Tennessee? He replied, we have to find a doctor that's willing to sign off on the documents in Tennessee. Now, we have someone here. We have a doctor here that signs off on all of our tests here. But we don't have that in Tennessee. So if we are able to find that doctor, or if you know that doctor, let us know and we can connect with that doctor. And once that doctor finds out, or once we find out who that doctor is and he comes on board with the company, then we will be able to submit things to him in Tennessee. He will be able to sign off on them and then send them to the lab. Now, the whole time this nickel slick ass nigga is talking, every time I've talked to him, I've been cordial, but once I suspect a nigga of being nickel slick, I don't ever, I don't talk that much because I want to allow this nickel slick ass motherfucker to say as much as possible so that I can determine when this nickel slick ass motherfucker is telling the truth or when this nickel slick ass motherfucker is trying to be nickel slick and get one over on me because he thinks I'm stupid. So a lot of times I have found that it works much better to just not say that much and let a motherfucker just talk, especially when that motherfucker is nickel slick. Now, from now on, if you have not heard that term, I guarantee you, when you see a motherfucker, you're going to start looking at him thinking, is this nigga nickel slick? What's up, TJ? I knew it was you because it's the same logo. I figured it was you. What's up, cuzzo? That's my cousin, TJ. You know him, TJ. You know him. So I just thought about that answer. I said, we have to find a doctor in Tennessee to sign off who's willing. And I noticed what he said. Willing was the word he used. Willing to sign off on the documents. I thought that's very interesting. So I didn't say anything the rest of the night. And the next day, I said to my partner, I said, what do you think about what we're doing? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, let's look at this situation. Okay, now this is the moment at which the scam started to reveal itself. Because I started really thinking, okay, why did my intuition tell me not to come down here in the first place? What was it that my intuition was saying? Hold on, there's somebody driving slow past my house. That doesn't happen much out here. See what this motherfucker doing. I don't know why I'm acting all scared. I ain't done nothing to nobody. So I said, let's look at this situation, man. I said, you and I are just two motherfuckers walking up on somebody's house, right? Now, what we're doing, we're going up to these people's homes and we're asking, and I'm telling you guys this just in case it happens where you are as well, because I think this is some bullshit. We're going up to these people's homes and we're saying, hey, how are you doing? We're in your area and we're providing a free cancer screen to people in the community. As long as you have Medicare or Medicaid, there's absolutely no cost to you. We're trying to bring awareness to cancer. We're trying to reduce the cancer rate in the community. If you are interested, hey, if you've ever had, anyone in your family that's had cancer, or if you've had cancer, or if anyone in your family has passed away from cancer, this is something that could help you determine if you have a predisposition to cancer and could let you know well ahead of time so that you could get with your doctor and figure out a possible treatment plan and figure out which medications would be best suited to your genetic makeup to help you fight against these cancers. Please, help us fight against cancer, bring awareness to it. All I need is your ID, your Medicare, Medicaid card. The test takes 3 minutes. The swab happens on one side of your cheek. The other swab happens on the other side of your cheek. Will be out of your hair in less than 5 minutes. So I asked him, I said, dude, let me ask you this. We are two motherfuckers walking up to somebody's house that has Medicare and or Medicaid insurance. We have these little bitty kits in a Ziploc bag two little plastic vials of shit I have absolutely no idea of what it is. The vials are completely reopenable. We're not doing any. I said, dude, let me ask you this. When's the last time you took a drug test? And he said, yeah, I've taken one in the last, couple of years. I said, do you realize the stringent safety precautions that are in place just for you to piss in a cup? I said, you go into the testing area. The woman says, here's your cup, opening it in my presence. Go into the bathroom. Don't close the door. Don't flush the toilet. Keep peeing until you fill it up to this line. Don't wash your hands. Don't run the sink. Bring it back out here. They close the cap. They tape it down. They make sure another nurse is in the presence of that person when they sign it. They make sure it can't be opened. They put it in a bag. They close the bag. They seal the bag so it can't be opened until it gets to the lab. They have you sign something, and then you're on your way. I said, motherfucker, we are two motherfuckers walking up to these people's house with a little kit in a Ziploc bag with two plastic vials, one blue, one white, no tape. We could open that shit up and piss in it or pee in it or shit in it for all we know. And they are taking this little vial and wiping the inside of their cheeks and giving it back to us. And we close it and we stick this shit in the trunk. Now you're telling me this fucking cancer test that is relying upon this DNA from their saliva and their cheek can just sit in our fucking car for 10 hours until we get it to the other motherfucker and we give it to him, and then this motherfucker puts it in the trunk of his car for God knows how long, and then this motherfucker drives that shit all the way up to this lab and then gives it to them. I said, firstly, that makes absolutely no sense. Why would we be able to subject testing materials to that type of abuse? And then I said, secondly, what doctor is going to say, even though my patient has insurance and I have access to MRIs and I have access to, blood testing that I can take to a lab, I can extract actual blood and get a blood makeup, and I could actually go and get a tissue sample. I could do a biopsy and have that tissue placed between a glass slide and looked at under an electron microscope and figure out exactly what's going on. But you know what? No, what I really need is these two niggas with a little kit in a Ziploc bag to go up to some people's door and give a swab test, and don't seal it up and just stick that bitch in the trunk of their car for about 10 hours. That's the only test that I can have at this point that's really going to tell me if this person has a predisposition to cancer. And so I really thought about all of that at that point, and I asked him these questions, and he just kind of looked at me. And I said, dude, my intuition has already told me this was a scam, and I ignored it, and now I feel like a real ass. I said, dude, what we're doing is a scam. And he said, why do you say that? Even after I just presented all this information, we went back and forth, and he had some good points, some good reasons why he was still questioning it. And I said, really, the main issue that let me know that it's a scam was that they said they needed another doctor to sign on as opposed to that person's doctor. And I said, the reason they need another doctor is because if we go to their main doctor, that doctor is going to say, "Excuse me, motherfucker. I don't need you to give me this punk ass cancer swab test. I am in a hospital and I have access to real shit. Like real shit. Like I can find out, you know, I can find out like everything about you and your mama and your cousin and your grandmama and them and all that shit. I don't need your little punk ass swabs. Gather your belongings and get the fuck out of my hospital." I said what they're doing is they have a doctor on their payroll that is willing to commit Medicare fraud and sign off on all these forms so that the lab that the forms are submitted to thinks a doctor has actually signed on to them and asked for these tests, and then they pay out to all of these people, and so they're defrauding these people that we go to. They're defrauding them for their Medicare, and I can't be an accomplice to that, dude. I said, as much as that money would help me out, I am not willing to do that. And I said, bro, he was like, yeah. Yes, logical reasoning. There is, and that was I Googled it as well. Logical reasoning said I Googled it, and there is a Bloomberg article that posted today about scam DNA testing going on in poor neighborhoods and senior communities. Yes, that was one of the things I looked at as well. So my partner was like, you know what? He understood what I was saying, but he was really a little bit more disappointed. And I said, look, man. I know you're disappointed, but I guarantee you that if we walk away from this scam, we will be blessed somehow with something way better. I said, but I am not going to be privy, or I'm not going to be complicit in scamming people out of their time and defrauding them for their insurance, because ultimately all of us are going to end up having to pay more for their insurance. So I'm not willing to do that. So he said, well, I'll call him. We'll talk to him on the phone. All right. So what's up, Tanisha Price? Gypsy Lady says, oh my God, kid, you're too smart. You're right. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't. Great Dane says, like JW service. Yeah, exactly. Like Daniel Brown says, from experience, anything that's door to door as a sale is a scam. And Great Dane says, yeah, like JW service. Exactly. Great Dane, you are hilarious. What's up, MKT? All right, so let's get into phase 2 of this. I feel like I've been talking forever. You guys must really be interested in what I'm saying, because the chat isn't moving hardly at all. I think everybody's like, let me hear what the fuck is this going on. This is the first time the chat has been this still. This is great. Either you guys are interested in what I'm saying, or you're like, ugh, this nigga will shut up. Hopefully it's the former. So my boy said, we'll call him. And I said, okay. So this is where the nickel slickness really starts to come in. I mean, this dude was so nickel slick, the phone almost slid out of my hand. This shit was so nickel slick. And I'm thinking, this motherfucker knows exactly what he's doing. And what happened was it was making me more and more angry every time he said something, because I felt like my intelligence was being insulted. And there are very few things that really piss me off. I'm a very even-keeled person at this point. I used to have a very bad temper, but as I've gotten older, I don't really have that temper anymore. The things that really bother me, one is, sorry, this is somebody that I really need to talk to. 1 second. Sorry, guys. This is pretty important. So, the things that really bother me, one, insulting my intelligence. Don't insult my intelligence because I'm not a stupid motherfucker. That shit pisses me off to no end. Two, not accepting responsibility for your behavior. If you fuck up something, say you fucked up. If you did something stupid, say you did something stupid. If I caught your dumb ass in a lie, say, all right, you got me. All right. Really, those are two of the big things. Oh, and being a hypocrite. That's the biggest. I don't like hypocrites. I'm not gonna judge you for whatever you do. If you do whatever and you like doing it, if you like it, I love it. But don't tell me you don't like it and then I catch your ass doing it and then you try to tell me that I shouldn't do it. Don't be a fucking hypocrite. That shit pisses me off to no end. Hypocrites, double standard shit, I cannot tolerate it. So I felt like this dude was insulting my intelligence. So he calls, my boy says, so we did some research and found out that this thing is kind of illegal. And the person on the phone said, what? Really? What are you talking about? It's exactly how he said it. What? Really? Huh? Tell me what you're talking about. So, he had explained some of the things that I had already said, and then he said, yeah, we've seen articles where they've said that people are going to these people's homes, asking for tests that are unnecessary, charging their insurance for tests other than the tests that were done. And so CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, was getting involved and talking about how there are so many companies that are cheating elderly people out of their time and overcharging them for services. So we felt like this was something that we needed to bring to our attention because we don't know if you knew it or not. Now, before we had that conversation, we had to go to a different area because the area that we were in previously, when we got those 4 people to take the test, when I got those 4 people to take the test, we were basically, not we personally, but people were run out of that area because they were discovering that people were trying to get the people who live in the community their social security numbers so that they could scam them. And so the person that was over the company I was with said, you know what, let's just stay away from that area. Let's go to this area over here. I got a different place we can go, which was a bit of a red flag to me at that point because I'm thinking, well, if you're not doing anything illegal, why you running? Why you running? Why you running? So he took us to another place. He said, I think this is a good place over here. I think you guys will have a good luck over here talking to people. It was an apartment complex with a huge ass no soliciting sign right up front. So, me at this point, I'm starting to get a little suspicious. And when I start feeling like somebody trying to play me, all of the cool niceness starts to kind of fly out the window. So I said, there's a big no soliciting sign right there. And he's like, oh yeah, that's everywhere. All them places have that. All them places have that in it. And so I said, yeah, they're gonna kick us the fuck up out of here as soon as they see us doing anything in this community. He was like, no, that's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be able to. It's gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be able to do it. I said, okay. So of course we went back to the hotel. And we're on this call. So we asking him, hey, we just explained this shit is fucking illegal. He said, you know what? Let me get somebody on the phone that can better explain what's actually going on than me. So he called this person. This person gets on the phone. And she says, hello, my name is yada, yada, yada. Now she has this super professional voice. I'm thinking I am speaking with the founder and CEO and president of Medicare, the way this woman sounded. I'm like, okay, now we're going to get some answers. So my boy's asking her questions. Yeah, he runs the same spiel to her. And she says, well, the reason that their doctor doesn't prescribe the test is because they don't want to be perceived as the doctor that is administering the test is getting a kickback from Medicare. So what we do is we have another doctor to actually order the test. That way it doesn't seem like it's falling on the patient's main doctor and he's not getting a kickback. Because I asked, why the fuck, I didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. Why the fuck would you not have their primary care physician order the test? Why wouldn't we talk to the patient and say, hey, let me get the name of your primary care physician. I'll talk to that person. We'll prescribe the test and it'll be that. Her answer was because if we were to do that, the doctor would get a kickback. So we have our own staff doctor. And so that answer was super stupid and it pissed me off. So Todd asked me, he said, hey, do you have any other questions to ask? And I said, yes, I have one more question. I said, ma'am, where do you work or what is your affiliation with this company? She said, well, I'm someone who is really concerned about bringing awareness to cancer. And what I do is I go out into the community and I talk to people about testing for cancer. And I let them know that we are out to try to help people bring awareness to cancer and help them see if they're predisposed to have cancer. And if we can give them this swab test, it only takes 3 to 5 minutes, then we could possibly help them find out if they're predisposed for cancer and have them be able to find out with their doctor what medications and testing options they have, and also figure out if anyone in their lineage could also have cancer because they're predisposed for cancer. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, this is the same shit that you have us telling the people when we knock on their door. Why are you pitching me right now? Why are you giving me this sales pitch right now? This is ridiculous. Oh. So you're just a regular motherfucker trying to hustle people out of Medicare too. So my boy was like, so you're basically just like us then. And she said, yeah, I'm just really passionate about cancer. And if you're just in this, and I tell all my people, if you're just in this for the money, you shouldn't even be in this because it's not just about the money. It's about actually bringing awareness to cancer. And I said, that is some boiled, baked, battered, breaded, bashed, bamboozled bullshit. Because at the end of the day, the reason that my black ass and his black ass and your black ass, I'm just going to assume by the way you sound on the phone, which is probably, someone would say it's probably really racist, but I'm just saying, we know your black ass and this nickel slick ass nigga's black ass, the only reason that we are out here, while we do care about the community, the bottom line is care for the community is not going to put gas in my car driving 500 miles. And it's not going to care for the community ain't going to keep my fucking lights on. And care for the community ain't going to keep my goddamn high-ass Wi-Fi so I can do my shows. Care for the community don't pay for this fucking 35-inch monitor and this fucking 25-inch monitor and this goddamn laptop and this goddamn desktop and food and toilet paper. Love for the community is great. But we are all doing this because supposedly we can get from $300 to $700 per test. And for you to say that to me is disingenuous. Also, that's the kind of shit you say when you're trying to convince somebody to do something for you so that you can make a great deal of money while giving them as little as possible, but making them feel as if they are doing something of such importance that they need to continue down that path and not think more into what they're doing. I'm not fucking stupid. I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I have been hustled by men inspired by Jehovah God. And to quote George Bush, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me again. George W. Bush. So, Todd said, "You got any more questions?" I said, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done, bro." So, we hung up with all three of them and talked with the guy that was over the entire company. And he asks, "So are you stepping away?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I do not agree with the way these things are being done. I don't think it's ethical. I think it's very unethical." He said, "Well, I've gotten all these shirts made up. I've gotten all these badges printed. You know, all this money I spent." I said, "You actually can take the money from what I've quote unquote earned Logical Reasoning said, "Glad I got to hear your scam story. My time's up. Husband just pulled up, so it's time to get dinner ready. Have a good evening." Yeah, you finna get something ready. Your husband home. "Girl, come on in here. I'm here. Now go on and get in there. It's time. It's time." Go on, serve it up, Logical Reason. Don't make him happy. Go ahead and make him happy. Thanks for joining the chat, Logical Reason. See you soon. So, I said, you can take the money from what I've quote unquote earned to pay for whatever expenses you have for these punk ass t-shirts or punk ass polo shirts and these punk ass lanyard and these punk ass brochures that you made up for us to do this punk ass scam. I didn't say all those punk asses, but I did say you can take the money from what I've earned to pay for those supplies. And he said, okay, I'll take that money out of that. I said, actually, what you can do is you can take all 1,200 of those dollars and use it however you see fit, because I don't want it. He said, no. This is how nickel slick niggas talk. Nickel slick niggas stutter a lot. No. You earn that money. You go on and have that. You earn that money. I said, since I am not nickel slick, I can speak without stuttering. I said, no, it's okay. Because if I were to tell you that I have a problem with your company and I have a problem with the way we're earning money with your company, then I cannot, in good conscience, take the money that I made from your company. That would make me a hypocrite. I said, so no hard feelings at all. No hard feelings. You do you. But I don't want to be a part of this company. And it was silence. And then he just said, okay. Like, nigga, you really turned down $1,200? Yeah. I told my boy, look, dude, I have struggled for a long time. This don't really mean anything to me. I can't miss money that I haven't already had. It'd be different if I had to give it back. I've never had it in the first place. See, Great Dane, here you go. Did the law of attraction bring this opportunity to you, or did you use your rational and critical thinking skills to continue advancement in life? You took action. No Sky Daddy involved. You know what, Great Dane? I'm going to say this, and I think you've heard me say this before. And I have to be honest that during our conversation yesterday, I was not willing to say the things that I would have already said, because Todd believes very differently from me, my boy that I brought on. And I like to be respectful of his beliefs. Even though he knows I believe differently, I try to be respectful of his beliefs because he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. I've known him for like 20 years. And I could really just said a lot of stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I gotta sleep with this motherfucker. You know, his bed is right next to my bed. I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of negative energy in this room because I'm gonna be in here with this dude for like 4 days. So let me try to keep the peace as much as possible, because you know I gotta go to sleep at night. This dude might be mad. He might, you know, it's not that he would have done anything. It's just, you know, when people have energy, if your energy is all messed up, it affects the way you interact. And so we were going to be working together the whole weekend. So I didn't really want to rub him the wrong way with my religious beliefs. But, Great Dane, I don't believe in a Sky Daddy either. Not in the sense of what people overall think. And I've said this several times. I don't believe in the God of the Bible. I don't think the God of the Bible encompasses what the Creator actually is at all. At all. I don't think the law of attraction brought me this opportunity at all, because money is not something that I've ever even used the law of attraction to bring into my life. Money is not anything I've ever actually worried about. I've always had the ability to say, if I want to do something, I'm going to do that thing. And that thing has always brought me money. But I've never, ever actually sat and tried to manifest money with the law of attraction. Never, ever have I ever done that. Oh yeah, you're right. Mature people can disagree and still show respect to others. True, but I just didn't want to go down that road. So no, I didn't use the law of attraction for that opportunity. I didn't bring that. And yes, I did use my rational critical thinking skills to continue advancement in life. I took action. No sky daddy involved. That's true. But again, I will say that I think that me taking action also involves my thought process. So whether we attract it or not, I think it still all comes down to me taking the action to put that shit out there. Great Dane said, I understand. Yay! We understand each other, Great Dane, because I understand you as well. What's up, Foxy Loxy? Yeah, you have missed so much of the show tonight. So, after turning down the $1,200 and the opportunity, because we were projected in those 14 days, based on what we did in those 6 hours, we were projected to make $10,000 each. $10,000 each. $10,000 each. And so I was really, really looking at that $10,000. I was really thinking, oh my goodness, this $10,000 is going to be so great. This first little $1,200 is going to be all right. But this $10,000 check that I'm about to make is going to be amazing. But then I had to go back and think about the conversation I had with myself, where I told myself, and for lack of better words, that you shouldn't go because it's a scam and you're going to be disappointed. But what was weird is I wasn't disappointed at all. And this is true, swear to God truth. Swear to God truth. I wasn't disappointed at all. And to go along with what Great Dane just said in her comment, I was so proud of myself for being able to turn down what was the equivalent of $11,000 just so I could have my self-worth. Had this been the same time a few months ago, several months ago, I don't know if I would have been able to do it and not feel bad about it. Would I have done it? Probably, because I've never been a nickel slick ass nigga. But I would have been like, damn, I wish I would have took that $11,000. At this point, I have absolutely no regret at not taking that money. No regret at all. And I'm actually, in my gratitudes this morning, I was saying how grateful I am that I was strong enough to be able to say no to something that would have possibly changed the course of my life. So I told my boy, I said, look, man, I guarantee you, if we turn this down, something so much better is going to be on the horizon. Something way better is going to be on the horizon, bro. So he stayed and was going to have a meeting with them. And I just came home. I left at about 10:30 last night. Got home at about 2, and that was that. That was that. So that is my scam story. But the whole point of it is, I know that a lot of us who are in this chat have had situations where we should have trusted our intuition and we went against it. And then we were like, damn it, I should have listened to myself. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. And now I got to deal with the consequences of not listening to myself. Right? Let's look at the chat real quick. I know you all got some. I know you all have done the same thing. I know it's happening. I know it's probably been some big things too. I know it's probably been some instances where we're like, big things have happened and we're thinking, why didn't I listen to myself? Aramis says he already knew what the outcome would be. You know what? That's really true, Aramis. I already knew what the outcome would be. I just didn't listen. But and what's funny, if you guys go back in the live streams, I said this before I even went. If you guys remember, I said I meditated. My higher self told me not to go because it's a scam, so I'm probably not gonna go. I said it clear as day, and then it happened. So if there's anybody out there that doubts that you can actually get answers from your higher self and that things like that aren't real, I have an example. You can go. I think it was maybe 2 shows ago where I actually said it. Before I went, I said my higher self told me not to go because it's a scam and I shouldn't go, and I probably won't go. My dumb ass went anyway. So that junk is real. Gypsy Lily says, wow, Keith, you turned down a whole $10,000. It shows a lot about your character. Something good and better is definitely coming your way. I applaud you on that. Thank you, Gypsy. Tanisha says, you will truly be blessed for this. Awesome. Yeah. I believe so. Great Dane says, I respect how real you are. Thank you for sharing all this. It would have been very easy for you to say nothing at all, but you are trying to help all of us. Thank you. No, thank you guys for even being here to listen. Dirty Bird said, yes, you did on the conspiracy night. Yeah, I did. Right. Aramis says, right. I remember I was worried about you on your first trip here due to how you felt about it. Doreen Nicole says, show did. Should have listened. Should have listened. Nikki T. K. Fish just got home. So glad you're still on and live. What's going on, Nikki T? What's going on, Dorinda? So now that I've had my hour-long spiel, it doesn't even feel like I've been talking for over an hour, but I have. Wendy Seeley, I know you said it. I told you not to go. You thought I meant don't leave the chat. Well, you know, sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you just got to bump your head against the wall, I guess. But you know, the allure of money sometimes causes you to override your better judgment. And luckily, I was able to, that morning when I talked to him, after we had that conversation with that guy, I did a really good meditation that morning. And it was one of the first times I was able to really, even though I was out of town, and I told you guys how I felt when I went to Atlanta. I felt really, really anxious about even being in Atlanta. I hate Atlanta. I hate it. But I thought that with this opportunity, I was going to have to spend so much time there. It made me really uncomfortable. And so that morning, I had a real calm after that little meditative session. So I was really able to see things in a different light, which led me to be able to ask those questions to be able to see what was really going on. And then here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. And then this is what really pissed me off. After I confronted this nickel slick ass motherfucker, this nickel slick ass nigga had the nerve to send me an article addressing the fact that Medicare was now allowing people to be tested for cancer at no cost to them. So I said, Now, unbeknownst to him, I had already read this article. But I said, you know what? Let me read it again. And this time, I'm going to read it out loud to my boy so he can hear what was going on. So the article that he sent me to verify that what he was doing was legit, in fact, was saying how Medicare is now allowing current people who currently have advanced cancer to be able to use new technology to test portions of their tumors to see what type of medication is best suited for the type of cancer that they have, and to figure out if they have the ability to use these medications to actually, and this information to actually develop a cure for cancer. So I replied to him, and I said as succinctly as possible. I wasn't trying to go there. I didn't want to be super rude. But I said, this article says that this fund isn't for what we're doing, but for a completely different process. If you haven't read it thoroughly, I would say you may need to read it and really break it down and see what it is saying. So, that's my story. And I know that some of us in here, Juicy Lily says, I like how he says again. He says again. You know what started me saying that? As a teacher, when I would teach kids, I would always come up with ways to make sure that the kids would hear me. So when I wanted the kids to listen to what I was saying, I would always say, okay, kids, I need you to listen. And they would say, it's not listen, it's listen. I said, oh, so you're listening then, right? So there would always be a way for me to get their attention. And when I say, okay, do you need this again? It's not again, it's again. I said, no, it's again, but you're listening, right? And it just kind of caught on. Foxy Loxy comes in 2 hours late. Sorry, I missed a lot of the info. What product were you about to get scammed into? I was about to start scamming other people. So fortunately, I caught it. So I wasn't scamming anyone. But the whole point is about trusting your intuition. And I think for the most part, those of us who are in this organization, who are ex-JWs, have learned not to even listen to our intuition, because most of us literally turned that kind of shit off for a long time. How many of us actually did have intuitions about what we felt about the organization and ignored it? Or how many of us just turned it off? Going into these meditation sessions that I've been doing and these gratitude sessions have been something that has really opened up my intuition. And for a long time, I didn't listen to it, and it would always end badly. Even my girlfriend at the time would always say, every time you don't listen to your intuition, it goes wrong. And I would always tell her, my intuition is telling me to do this, but I think I'm going to do this. And every time I didn't listen to my intuition, it would always play out exactly the way that I thought it would. So, Nikki T, you might need to reset your info because I think it's just you. My connection is really strong. What's up, self-care boss? Yeah, Nikki T, I think you must need to reset your joint or check your connection. But there are a lot of things that I think, and excuse me for stammering over my words here for a second, but there are so many ways that this organization has affected us. Self-care boss says, isn't that interesting? Our intuition and discernment guides us. Exactly, self-care. And what better way to get people to be sheep than to convince them to not listen to their intuition or their discernment? And on top of that, I think that just self-care boss says, just got home from a day of massaging and workout class. Okay. All right. Anyway, leaving that organization, a lot of us still don't know how to tune into our intuition and discernment. I mean, you have to think about it. So many of us, including myself, for the first part of my life, I wasn't the average Jehovah's Witness. I still listened to myself. But for the most part, the people around me didn't. And they were able to influence me to an extent not to. And the older I got and the more I knew I wanted to do other things, the more other people in the organization were able to kind of affect me into not really listening to my intuition. Because my intuition told me from the jump, you know what you want to do with your life. You should do that. But I never, ever did it. I never really truly listened to myself until I got away from that organization. So I think it is really incumbent upon us as people who have left this organization, and also people who may be in the chat that aren't even ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, just people in general, because I also think that people in general in life don't truly appreciate the power that they have within themselves. Which is why I also said your higher self has the answer. Sometimes we have been... Dorinda Nicole says, most times things we have questions about, we already have the answer inside. We just choose to ignore it. Exactly. That's what I talked about earlier. That's exactly what I did in this example. And in doing that, it cost me some time and some money. But I learned a valuable lesson to stop doubting myself because I already knew the answer. I knew the answer before I went. I just chose to ignore it. But a lot of us have lost or never had the ability to trust in the answer to the question that you have, that you already know the answer to. And that's a very difficult thing, especially if the answer is not the answer you really want. That makes it even more difficult to listen to the answer. But even in those situations, a lot of times we know the answer, but our heart and our feelings and the things that we want physically kind of interfere with us not getting the answer, but us acting on the answer. And I've been very guilty of that. There are few anybody that knows me knows I'm like I've said before, I haven't been in the past a really feely type person. I've been just a real ass. But the older I've gotten, the more I've connected. I feel like, which is probably why the older you get, the softer you get, because I feel like the older you get, the closer your physical body starts to get with your spirit. The longer you're in this body, the closer your body and spirit become. And so I feel like you start to be able to feel on a deeper level because your spirit and your body are that much closer. And the older I've gotten, I have become, I'm still a hard ass, but I am able to feel more than I've ever been able to feel in my life when I allow myself to. And the problem that I've had is that growing up in the organization, that was so turned off, and it took me a really long time to get to a point where I would allow myself or allow my physical form to get past the wall that I had put up from my spiritual form to even come together like that. So I think the only way that we can even get to a point where we can listen to our higher selves is to, one, recognize that we have a higher self, and that you don't necessarily have to always go outside of yourself to get the answers to questions, because however that answer came to me, it came to me. It came to me from sitting down in silence and just asking these questions and allowing the answer to come to me. And it came, and it was loud and clear. And I'll say it again, it was loud and clear. My inner voice, or whatever you want to call it, plainly, the same way I can hear my own voice right now, was the voice that I heard that told me not to go to Atlanta. Don't go to Atlanta. It's a scam. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to come back and wish you hadn't went. So don't go. And I ignored it. But I think I've only gotten to the point to even be able to hear it as clearly. Now, I've heard, all of us have a conscience. We all have an inner self, and we've heard it from time to time. There have been a few times in my life where I can honestly say my higher self has spoken to me very loudly. There was one girl I was dating a long time ago, and I really hate that girl now. But at the time, I thought that I really liked her. But we went out on a date, and the first time I went out with her, she wanted to hook up that night. And when she was trying to make it happen, I heard a voice in my head that was so loud, and it said, "Do not have sex with this girl." I mean, it was just booming. It was booming, and it was clear, and I heard it, and it said, "Do not have sex with this girl." And I just said, okay. Like in my mind, I said, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do that. And she was like, fine. There have been a few instances in my life where that inner voice has really saved me from doing something really stupid. This one would have been one of them had I listened to it. Going around scamming old people and poor people out of their Medicare insurance. Oh, God. I can't believe they got me. I feel like Dave Chappelle. They got me. They got me. But they only got me because I wanted to do something nice. So if it's supposed to happen, we'll figure out a way to do things to help people in low income areas and people in older people in communities that may need help. But that was another thing I was saying too. These people already got Medicare and Medicaid. They don't need our help. They got better insurance. I don't even have insurance. Somebody need to become helping my black ass. Keith, you want to get tested for cancer? Your dancing ass, you know you ain't got no insurance. You better not step on a nail or cut yourself on a razor or nothing. You better have a damn rubber ball. You're gonna be like that kid in a box. You're gonna be a bubble boy. You better not do shit. Your ass has no insurance. Keith, you have no insurance. You're out here trying to help people with their insurance. You have no insurance. Ma'am, if you have insurance, you can get this test done at no cost to you. They're going to be like, excuse me, nigga, do you have insurance? And I'd be like, no. They'd be like, I think I need to help your ignorant ass. No insurance having ass, nickel slick ass nigga. I'm not nickel slick. Oh, man. What a night. I'm going to be like the bubble boy on Seinfeld. Or what's that movie with Will Ferrell, the bubble boy? Come in here and rip a hole in that thing. But anyway, how long has this been? An hour and a half. So I'll open it up. If anybody, which I'm, if y'all want to, how you all get. If anyone wants to share some stories about how they should have listened to their intuition, but they chose not to, and it went super badly, you are more than welcome to share. If not, we will get ready to sign off. Dirty Bird says, my side hurts from laughing. TJ said, you stupid. Hey, you know how I am, TJ. Now, I want to have a really lighthearted show because tomorrow I want to talk about something a little bit more serious. And this one will be a call-in show. Okay, guys? I need this one to be a call-in show. And I think this is something that is something that could help a lot of us deal with some of the things that we went through, especially those of us who were disfellowshipped or who have ever had a judicial hearing. As we know, when you go into those rooms to talk to those brothers, especially if you are a female, they are going to ask you all kinds of questions. All kinds of questions about what happened. What did you do? What were you wearing? Did you touch this? Did he touch that? Did he put it over here? Did he put it over there? Did he shoot it everywhere? I mean, they want to know everything. Frank the writer says, I should have listened to my intuition when I joined some of these dating sites. I have never been on a dating site. I just can't bring myself to do it. But I think it will be great to have an opportunity for those of us who have been disfellowshipped, for those of us who are in the chat or in the area who are in the community who are female that have been basically embarrassed and used for some type of, for lack of a better term, it seems like get off for these old men to be able to ask you all these weird questions about your experiences just so they can get off on it. I think it would be great for us to be able to just sit and have a conversation about it. So tomorrow's show will just be us talking and sharing our stories with each other. Have I frozen, guys? Let me know. I think my screen is frozen. What's going on? Let's see here. Okay, I think I'm good. All right. So tomorrow's show will be a call-in. Guys, if you have stories, I would like for everyone who has been... Gypsy Lily says, oh, yes, I need to call in tomorrow for sure. I felt so uncomfortable. I thought the elders were getting off or getting aroused by those questions. Yes, I've heard that a lot. It actually happened when I was in there one time. And this is something we can all talk about tomorrow. I've had to go before the elders. I had to go before the elders too. And with my wife at the time when I was married, we both had to go to the elders and talk about separate situations. So you know me, I don't mind sharing anything. I will share. I will tell it. I will tell it. I will tell it. As long as it's about me, hey, I'm an open book. I will share all of that shit with you guys. So tomorrow we'll be having a live call-in. So I need you guys to call. Make sure you call. A live call-in. We will talk about our stories of being disfellowshipped. What happened? What questions did they ask? How did we feel while that was going on? And how we dealt with it afterwards. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't even want to start because if I start that conversation with you, Nikki T, it's gonna go all into what we're gonna talk about tomorrow, and it's already been almost 2 hours. So yeah, it's a lot to talk about. It is a lot to talk about. But guys, I think by us talking about it and not just telling what happened, but how we got past it, what we're doing to move forward after it happened, is something that we all can use to help us, guys. Because, man, I know I say this, but just talking to you guys about all of these things that have happened in my life, is a way for me. I saw that message, Nikki T, before you retracted it. It's a way riling me up. I was like, I'm filling you up. Okay. All right, then. It's a way for us to get past that. Even like Nikki T saying, she gets riled up thinking about it. But sometimes, I know for me, it just helps to be able to talk to people who understand what I have gone through and how it feels. And think about it, man. Tomorrow when we call in, we'll all have at least from 25 to 30 people that will be listening that actually understand what we're talking about when we call in. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be great, guys, for us to call in and really share our stories and talk about what happened and how we dealt with it. And so Great Dane says, call in, tell your story, shout it from the mountaintops. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last, right? Aramis says, I've never gone through it, but nevertheless, I'll tune in. Aramis, I think you would actually be surprised at some of the things that people have to go through when they're called into those little rooms in the back. It is it's so much. There's so many, and I would wager, yeah, how Nikki T said, it is so much worse for the women in that organization. It is so much worse for the women. So much worse for the women. Because they have to really. We'll talk about it tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow's show will be a live call in. I really want you guys to call in. We're gonna talk about our stories from when we were in the little room, whether or not we sat through the whole thing, and if we did, what happened, how we got through it, how we're doing today, and what we plan on doing moving forward to continue our betterment of ourselves. That's the thing, guys. It's not just telling what happened. It's not just living in what happened. It's about knowing what happened and moving forward and living a better life in spite of what happened. Not being defined by what happened, but defining ourselves by how we deal with what happened. Okay? So it's going to be the same time tomorrow. At every show is always 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll post the link. I'll put it in the community tab, put it in all the forums. Everyone will get the reminder, and we will have a great show. Please call in. Don't be scared. Call in, and we will have a great conversation. Dirty Bird says, "Damn, I'm glad y'all made it out. I will love to listen." I think it's gonna be a good show, and it's gonna be a good cleansing for all of us. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a way to really get some negative energy out of our bodies. If it's something that we've been thinking about, if it's something we haven't been thinking about, but either way, I think the more we get this shit out of our bodies and out of our spirits, we move one step closer to being who we really want to be, or who we really feel that we are. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, listening to my babble about almost being a professional scammer. But, dude, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Your higher self has the answer. So tomorrow we will be sharing our stories of being disfellowshipped, and it will be a live call-in show. Please call. And I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central. Talk to you all soon. Have a good night. Love you guys. Peace.